Hello and welcome. I have figured out how to get Hamapatch files into Blender. Things you will need: Hamapatch, Blender. I am using the current version of Blender unless there's been an update in the last few days. This should work in any version of Blender that accepts OBJs. The other thing you will need is you will need Wings 3D. This is the secret sauce to getting these things through each other. Wings 3D is free, and you can find it online. Now, you have your Hamapatch file. You don't have to do anything to this file except have it open. We will get through some troubleshooting stuff later that will help you on the other end. However, it's not super, important. What you want to do in Hamapatch is open Export and then DirectX. You will want to export all objects unless you are only exporting the object you have selected in Hamapatch. You don't want to mess with subdivision or scale. You'll export this, and I will call this fella.x, just to make sure that it's all correct. Now, we have our file exported. As you can see, we have a fella.x over here. Next, you'll want to open Wings 3D. Wings 3D works like Wings 3D. It's a little weird, but we'll get there. The only thing you need Wings 3D in the system for is you need to import a DirectX. You don't have to mess with any of these files because it's not important. You will click your fella and import him. Now, the thing about the DirectX file is it does not understand anything above a 4-point polygon. This is because you have created a n-gon. N-gons are any form of polygon above 4. The 5-point patch will not transfer over. However, for what we are doing, you do not need to worry about 5-point patches at the moment, because I am just showing you how it works. You can also fix these files in Blender later. Now, you have this file, and you don't have to touch a single thing as it sits here in Wings. You go into Wings, and you export, and you export to OBJ. You want one group per material, quadrangles, all this stuff. You don't have to touch anything. This is all the default, and it should all just work. You'll press OK, and it'll ask you. We will call this Feller Tutorial. Now this file should be exported as an OBJ. At this point, you can open Blender, you can delete the box. I mean, there's other things you could do, but we don't need the box, get rid of him. And you can drag and drop and import your wavefront, OBJ, and here's your file from Hamapatch. You should also be able to... Okay, I don't think we've gotten materials exported. That is the only downside to this method. But color information is saved from Hamapatch. What you need to do at this point, if you want to get anything good, your modifiers, you want a generate, My cat is standing in front of my screen. A subdivision surface. And you should be able to do things there. As you can see, your polygons are all separated. This is the only problem with getting it to here. But you will have all of your face information. At this point, what you will need to do is weld your models back together, which sounds really annoying. However, very quick ways to do so is grab, one of your things over here. You want to grab multiple faces and then go into vertex mode and then merge vertices by distance. And 9 times out of 10, this should get you at least some of your vertices put back together. Now we're going to select this face that wasn't selected before. Go into vertices, merge by distance. You should slowly be able to select all, merge, and merge by distance. And this should put your file back together, at least for the most part. You might have to do some little things to get things working again. You also should be able to do things such as connect vertex. Okay, you can't find the vertices. Thank you, Blender. Connect vertex pairs. It's still being rude. Alright. But you should be able to now. Let's try it like this. And bridge these edge loops. Yep. Alright. If it wanted to work, it would work, properly. But if you can bridge and loops and fill sections, you should be able to get your project at least mostly back together from this point without having to do major work. There will be some weirdness, but at this point, everything should be able to be put together rather quickly, even if you have to work around some of your 5-point patches needing to be refilled. If you build a model in Hamapatch with no 5-point patches, you will not have to do this patching, and you will only have to do the select all and merge vertices by distance, or you can individually put faces together with vertices if you so choose. And this should be how to get your files from Hamapatch into Blender without having to deal with the OBJ exporter in Hamapatch.